Tashtile and hello. My name is Gemma Ndoma, the Development Coordinator for Students for a Free Tibet Canada this summer. SFT is a non-profit grassroots organization that works in solidarity with Tibetans in Tibet in their struggle for freedom and independence. I'm joined with Tenzin Losel, my colleague, who is the Programs Coordinator, and Yishil Hamo, the Community Events Coordinator. Today we'll be taking a couple minutes of your time to recap the work that SFT has done in the last 6 months.
We started the year off by showing up for our Uyghur siblings at a protest hosted by the East Turkestan Association of Canada on January 4th to protest against the Chinese Communist Party to rally against the mass detention of millions of Uyghur Muslims and innocent Canadians who are held hostage. At SFT, we believe in supporting and standing in solidarity with other movements and creating allies fighting against similar injustices.
We celebrated Tibetan Independence Day on February 13th by hosting an open mic night at the Station Cafe. Team members from SFT chapters from Ryerson, UFT, and York helped put together the event. The night was filled with performances and spoken word from members of the Tibetan, Indigenous, and Filipino community, and the night concluded, as always, with Gorshin, known as Tibetan Circle Dance.
This year marked the 60th anniversary of the Tibetan Uprising Day, and SFT Canada co-organized the annual rally with the Canadian Tibetan Association of Ontario, the Tibetan Women's Association of Ontario, the Regional Tibetan Youth Congress, and Chuchiganchu. SFT members spent weeks putting together a political theatre piece highlighting major events in the last 6 decades of our movement. The rally was attended by close to 2,000 Tibetans and allies who took to the streets of Toronto to make their voices heard. For the first time in our history, we were able to have a traditional smudging ceremony led by Indigenous elder Kim Wheatley, along with Tibetan monks from various Buddhist centers across Toronto. Over 100 coffins were crafted to signify the 165 Tibetans that have self-immolated in protest of China's illegal occupation of Tibet. Local political representatives, including Budla Karpoche and Arif Irani from provincial and federal levels of government representing Parkdale High Park, were in attendance, as well as leaders of allied organizations. This historic rally was covered on multiple local and national Canadian media outlets.
On April 25th, we co-organized a prayer service at Gyeogyongba with local Tibetan organizations to commemorate the 30th birthday of Gyendun Chogyam Nyima, also known as the Panchen Lama. He was only 6 years old when he was recognized by His Holiness the Dalai Lama as the 11th Panchen Lama, one of Tibet's most important religious leaders. Soon after, Gyendun Chogyam Nyima and his family were taken into custody by the Chinese authorities, and they have not been seen since. Tibetans, Tibet supporters, human rights organizations, and world governments have consistently urged China to release Gyendun Chogyam Nyima, but these appeals continue to go unheeded. SFT Canada continues to campaign for the Panchen Lama's release.
SFT hosted the second annual Little Tibet Market as a part of Parkdale BIA's Spring into Parkdale Sidewalk Festival that was held on the 11th of May. The market featured Tibetan arts and crafts, local vendors, live music performances, and a cultural Tibetan fashion show that showcased diverse and vibrant traditional attire representing the different regions of Tibet. It was also a proud day for our community as the name Little Tibet was finally recognized by Google to represent the neighborhood where thousands of Tibetans reside.
Activists and supporters of human rights, accountability, and Tibet came together on June 19th for the Global Day of Action during Google's annual general meeting for the hashtag Stop Google Censorship campaign. Our campaign against Google's development of a censored search engine for China known as Project Dragonfly stretched out for months until this day. The project would have profited Google and the Chinese government's agenda at the cost of human rights. We knew that censorship conducted by the governments are fundamentally wrong and suppress the knowledge of the people. We were so excited to learn that within the same day of our action that Google had agreed to drop Dragonfly. This was a victorious day for human rights and Tibet.
Thank you for the debrief for our highlights, Losel and Yishi. Now I'm joined by Hansi Gisho, the Grassroots Coordinator, and Spencer Jillian, our Toronto Regional Coordinator. They'll be updating you on our upcoming events, from dressing you well to filling your belly up, to enjoying an evening full of performances from young artists, all while supporting the Tibetan Freedom Movement. Without further ado, here's Hansi and Spencer.
On July 28th, SFT will be hosting its biggest fundraising event of the year, Momo Crawl T.O, for the 5th time. It's a day filled with fun and engagement from so many diverse members of the Toronto community over the most delicious momos you will find in the city. With the purchase of a Momo Crawl passport for just $25, you will be able to enjoy a grand total of 10 momos from a variety of Tibetan and Nepalese restaurants along Parkdale. This event will also feature a delicious bake sale by the very talented Tseong. All proceeds from the event will go towards funding the work SFT does for the Tibetan Freedom Movement. Passports can be bought online on Eventbrite or on the day of, although we do run out every year, so hurry up while they're still available.
Longsho Nite, SFT Canada's annual benefit concert, is back this August, and we're very excited to announce that it will be headlined by amazing, passionate, and bold Tibetan youth, including Tipchik from the Netherlands, Tenkun from Switzerland, and Toronto's very own Mr. Tibet 2015, Tenzin Dongdu. This is one of the best ways for our supporters to come out and see what we've been up to. Tickets are on sale and will be available online and in person at La Cargorche every Wednesday leading up to the big night. Concert tickets give you entrance to the concert as well as the after party. Advance tickets are $30 and tickets on the door are $35, so get them while they last.
That wraps it up, folks. I hope you learned a little bit about the amazing work SFT Canada has done and will continue to do. Many of you know that SFT runs solely on fundraisers, personal donations, and the hours that volunteers put into this organization. With such a small team, it can be hard sometimes, so if you would like to make any financial contributions or volunteer with us, visit sftcanada.org for more information. That's all for this time. Thanks for tuning in. Pigilo.